Like being here in Florida State?
I'm telling you, I'm extremely excited being at Florida State. I had the opportunity to be down here during their bowl practice. These young kids work hard. Jimbo does a great job with them. They're finding out what it takes to win, and they did win last year. And they have high expectations, and we just have to teach them how to get to those high expectations.
How was the first day of spring practice?
First day, like anything else, I'm different than most. I'm going to demand, and they're going to be relentless, competitive people. And I'm going to push them to the ultimate. They're not going to have a chance to relax because this game is very, very physical. And when you're playing a 4-3 and you're two defensive ends, you have to be dominating, you have to be able to rush the passer, you have to stop the run. And most of it is when fatigue sets in, we all turn into cowards. So what I try to do is I try to work them as fast as I can and as hard as I can and get them to play with the best technique, because that's what's going to happen in the game. Technique ultimately wins on the field, and when you have technique and you have smarts, you're going to be a good football player.
What's it been like working with Jeremy? I know you've had experience with that before.
Right.
What's it been like down here?
It's been great. It's been great. You know, everything, you know, we're used to each other. We know what's going on. I know how he coaches. He knows how I coaches. We're expecting some great things. And, you know, we came down here with Jimbo, number one, because of what he's accomplished and what he's doing and where this program's going. So I think when people look at this and see what he's done and the players that are here, it's fun to coach the players that are here. They're athletic. They're good kids. And they have the chance to be dominating at times.
When you started working with Jeremy initially, did you I mean, obviously he's got a long track record behind him at the high school level, but a relatively short track record.
Well, let me just tell you this so we can get this all straight here. When I got to the University of Alabama, Jeremy was working in a position of, I guess it was, you call it as an intern. As soon as the spot came open, because I sat in the press box with that young man through that whole year, and we won a national championship, and he was as good as anybody I've been in the press box in the National Football League and then in college ball. He knows exactly what he wants, what was going on out there. He knew how to put the guys in place. We knew how to make adjustments. I mean, it was really, really exciting up in that press box coming down at halftime and making the corrections, letting us go out and apply it the second half, and that's how we won. You know what I'm saying? People don't realize that the adjustments that are done at halftime in a game are critical, and we were on top of everything. And as soon as the job came open, I went to Coach Saban and the rest of them, and I said, you got to hire this guy, and he has taken off. It's like anything else. Everything comes with an opportunity. He got that opportunity, he's run with it, and he's doing a very good job. These kids are enjoying them. They had fun out there today. It's going to be a little more challenging to them, but he does a great job.
You're taking over a position group that's losing potentially 3 guys to the NFL. Have you got a chance to form any impressions of some of the players that you have?
Well, as a position group, and you know, you come down and you know, when I was in the National Football League, and you know, Florida State has always had great defensive linemen. There's a thing right now on the internet, it's calling us defensive line U right now. And it's really amazing the talent that's here. And we understand, and I think these kids do, that the 3 guys are going to have an opportunity to go to the National Football League. Well, now it's their turn. So now they've got to come out and they got to live up to that ability. Well, to do that, you got to come out and work. It just doesn't happen by lip service. So to answer your question, the talent is here. We've got to get them to work hard, and we got to get them to understand how to fit their hands, how to bring their feet, and get to the quarterback. Then we got to tell them how to, you know, fit their hands, use your feet, and go make a tackle versus the run. And then we got to make them smarter. They got to know down and distances, and they got to know when it's run tendencies, pass tendencies, sets, and everything else. So that's my job. And the kids are open, they're listening, and I'm going to ride them. If you guys see me out there, I'm going to ride them because it's not easy to do what we're asking you to do. It's not. And I had to do it at Alabama, I tried to do it at Tennessee, and I'm going to do it here. But we are going to play 60 minutes of football. Well, just the way it is. It's the only way I learn.
How do you think your career as a coach has progressed or changed?
It's been great.
In all these stops.
You know, I think like anything else, you get different ideas of, you know, being in SEC at LSU with Nick the first time, going up to Michigan State and being in the Big Ten and seeing all the different conferences and all what it takes to play, and coming in here to Florida State and being able, you can judge talent, you can know where you're at with it, you can evaluate kids when you go out recruiting, you can tell what level of football they can be at. And you know, the thing that's funny is that when you're at Florida State, you're recruiting the cream of the crop. And that's what I really believe, because this place has had great tradition. They've won national championships, and we're hoping someday to get back to that.
How have the players responded to the new coaches?
I think they're a little in shell shock right now. They're probably in there saying, boy, the man's crazy. He's, you know, but I want them to think that, because the thing is every time I go out on the field, it's like if I was coaching my own son. I am going to demand him to do it right, first of all, for protection. Because if he doesn't do it right and he gets lazy and they lose a knee or something, that's because they didn't bend their knees, they didn't fit their hands. And to me, that's the most important thing. And if they play with the technique and they do what they're supposed to do, someday they're going to have an opportunity to fulfill a dream that they've been waiting to do for a long time. So they're, you know, I'm excited about it. I think they've had a good practice out there today. I think they got an idea of what I'm going to ask for. So tomorrow will be another day. Hopefully we get better. And they got to learn. They got to understand, just not assignments. They got to understand concepts, what's going on out there.
Coach, in talking to him so far philosophically, do you see anything different in the way you approach coaching defensive ends than the way they were before you got here?
I don't know how, I really don't ever look back how anybody else coaches. Jimbo hired me to come in here and coach defensive ends. I'm going to coach them the exact same way I coached Upshaw and all the rest of those guys, because we've had tremendous success and those kids have had success. So, you know, I'm not changing the style. I'm not changing anything. It works. When you're coaching good football players, you're a good coach. When I was coaching Julius Peppers, I was a great coach. You know what I'm saying? So, anything else?
What have you seen from Giorgio Newberry in your time?
Giorgio has great length, and Giorgio's got to learn how to use his length. And sometimes when you get longer body guys, they have a tendency to get their weight over their knees too much instead of bringing their feet underneath them. So he's got to learn how to use his body to his advantage, his long arms, you know, his long torso. So getting him to do that is what I got to teach him to do. And he's figuring it out as we go through stuff. And we got to develop his quickness, his speed. And, you know, when you watch the great pass rushers in the National Football League, one thing they do, they get off on the ball, they have counters to moves, and they're doing it fast. And that's where I got to get them to go.
How about Mario Edwards in particular? What do you?
Mario
what about?
did a good job out there today. He's finding out that with what I'm asking him to do is that it's taxing, and we got to get him in the better shape, in my opinion. And I know it, and everybody knows that, and he knows that, and he's going to fight through it, and he's going to be good. He's got a lot of talent.
How much can Casher do right now?
He was out there the full practice and did some good things, and I was extremely happy with him.
Is he? I mean, is he back, close to back with the explosiveness?
Nobody's everybody close to back until they get out there and start building confidence. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's going to be a little bit tentative. When Dante hurt his knee and he came back, I mean, there was some tentativeness out there. Sometimes kids are careful. It's a matter of building confidence now. So it's my job to get him out there, and the drills that I do, changing direction, slapping bags, coming off on the ball. You know, he's going to leave here and say, boy, I felt pretty good.
How about Dan Hicks coming back to?
Dan Hicks had a great day. Really, I was really impressed with him. You know, he came out there, he was fast, he was quick, he was eager to learn. I'm excited about Dan. He did a really good job. I was proud of him.
Was that part of your decision when you got here? Was the movement back to defensive end?
I had no decision. Jimbo runs this place. You understand me? I just said I was my decision to get a coat before I came in here, but that's it.
I didn't know if you said yes, sir. Or, you know.
Whatever he did, but I'm telling you, I'm excited. I'm glad he did, because the kid has skill. And when you have skill at that spot and you learn how to use your strength and you learn how to use your quickness, this guy has some, he's going to be unique. We're going to utilize him.
Two questions. You talk about Jimbo. We've seen you guys. We saw you at bowl practices, and we've seen you at fourth-quarter drills, and it seems like Jimbo talks to you guys a lot, listens to you. How's he been as a boss in terms of sharing information and letting you guys?
Well, I think like anything else, Jimbo wouldn't have hired us if he didn't believe in us. And I think like anything else, Jimbo, we know what Jimbo wants. So, I mean, it's easy to do. It's part of that system that we've all been involved with that has tremendous success. So, you know, we know what Jimbo wants. We're going to give it to him. And when he asks our opinion on it, he's going to listen. He's ultimately going to make the call. But when you're in that system and you've been in that tree and you've seen the success that's happened, it's won a lot of championships. So,
What have you learned just in this past year, obviously being at Tennessee and not being here? What was the past year like?
what have I learned?
Just as a coach, have you gotten anything?
You better have players wherever you go. And that's the whole thing. So recruiting is extremely important. So, I mean, it doesn't matter the name of the school. What you have to do is look at their personnel before you take a job, evaluate that personnel, and see if it really lives up to the expectations that's on that. And to me, that's the most important thing that I learned from last year, was you better look at personnel. And it can't be just, we're going to take care of this defense. It's, you know, Jimbo's done a great job of recruiting both sides of the ball. And then he's got enough athletes and stuff on special teams where we should be able to be pretty dang good there too. So if you take care of both sides of the ball, you have a chance to win. It's just not one side of the ball that has to have all the talent, because eventually it's going to catch up to you.
All right.